everywhere.
And I think he's probably relieved to no longer have to sit as the MLA.
Former Manitoba Premier Brian Pallister announced Monday afternoon that he is resigning as MLA for Fort Whyte, effective immediately. The news comes after Pallister stepped down as party leader and as Manitoba's premier on September 1st. In a statement, Pallister says it was his honor to serve Manitobans over the past 9 years. Quote, "I leave my seat in the Legislative Assembly excited to see Manitoba on the eve of having our first woman as premier. I'm confident that they will continue to represent the principles and values of our party and seize the opportunities to lead our province in post-pandemic recovery."
He's no longer the Premier of Manitoba, to be sitting as a non-cabinet minister in the current government. It just didn't make sense for him to stick around.
Pallister was first elected MLA for Fort Whyte in 2012, which was the same year he became leader of the Conservative Party in Manitoba. He then became Premier of Manitoba in 2016, which lasted until September 2021, when interim Premier Kelvin Gertsen took over. Adams says this is a long political chapter that is closed for Pallister.
He's had a long run, close to 30 years, and he probably figured it was time to move on and have a by-election in Fort Whyte, where he was sitting as the MLA.
A by-election will now be called as the seat for Fort Whyte is vacant. A date for this has not been set at this time. Adams says it could be a little while before this gets called, but says the open seat is a major opportunity for some.
Shelley Glover, if she wins the leadership of the PC party on October 30th, she will be looking for a seat to be in the Assembly. So the Fort Whyte one would be the logical place for her to run.
Wab Canoe taking to social media expressing his thoughts on Pallister's resignation. He writes, quote, "Goodbye, Mr. Pallister. It's going to be pretty tough for the PCs to try and distance themselves from the health cuts, pandemic failures, hydro rates hikes, and on and on. He looms large over everything they do because they're still pursuing his plan." Adams says this will most likely be the last time we see Pallister involved in politics.
There are positions that are offered to you in the corporate world, on different corporate boards of directors, and also on different Crown agencies, federal and provincial. If Aaron O'Toole or the Conservative Party were to win power in the next couple of years, there would be a high likelihood that Brian Pallister would find some offerings.
The PCs will select a new leader on October 30th. In Winnipeg, Alex, Karpa City News.